Everybody is wrong about the psoas, starting with the myth that you can't release it because it's just too deep. This is one of the biggest myths that people always tend to bring up, and that is because it's technically true. There are several layers between your tools and the psoas. But what they forget to always mention is that those layers are super thin, can easily move, and is actually kind of made for us to get into the psoas. When it comes to your rectus abdominis and your obliques and all that, those are super thin layers that you need to get through. And it's not super tight if you do it with your knees up, which is going to allow the stomach to give it some slack basically and allow you to get deeper. On top of that, you can actually feel the psoas contract in the stomach. And the reason why I bring this up is because it is the only muscle that attaches to the femur, which means if you're lifting your leg back and forth while laying on your back and searching for your psoas, you can easily find it, which means you can easily release it. I guess some problems come in when if you assume that you need to be touching the specific muscle in order to release it. This is not necessarily the case here, right? You don't need to strengthen the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps all separately by themselves. You can do it all and you can train them all by doing something like a bench press, right? Well, the same thing here when it comes to releasing muscles. If I go and work on your stomach in this area, I'm not just releasing your psoas. Your stomach, your rectus abdominis, your obliques are also getting released at the same time. So don't think that you need to be touching the muscle directly in order to release it. That's just not the case, right? That's not how you release deep muscle. There's no way we can be able to do that then. And the reason why we don't need to touch every single muscle specifically is thanks to the fascia system. The real reason why everything feels tight. Again, this is something that everybody seems to ignore whenever you're talking about muscles and the psoas and just things being tight. They never bring in the fascia system, which is why everything's fucking tight. Your fascia system wraps around the muscles. Your fascia system goes through the muscles. And your fascia system develops over time, layers and layers in the position that you use most often. Your fascia system is why you end up having some kind of pain when you hit your 30s. It's the main reason why your back is always weak, because the chest is always tight. It's pulling to the front, which makes that super stretched out and tight, right? Everything is connected through the fascia system, including the stomach and all those areas around it, which means you don't need to even be necessarily directly on it. You can be right next to the psoas and still get a good release if you're doing it right. Now, another myth that a lot of people like to bring up here when it comes to releasing muscles is that, well, massaging muscles is only temporarily. And again, if you're doing that, or if you're only feeling temporary results, then you're probably not doing it right. Okay, you can't just work out a muscle for 10 seconds for 30 seconds and expect it to get stronger. Don't be treating massage any differently here. You need to spend 3 to 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes, massaging out different muscles depending on how tight it is and which muscle it is and how often it's being used. There's so many different factors that come into play when it comes to releasing tight muscles, just like when it comes to working out a muscle. For starters, you may not even be releasing the correct spot, right? Yeah, the psoas is in the stomach area, but are you going in at the right angle? Is the person in the right position to allow you to get in there? Are the tissues accepting you, and are you giving it time to actually allow it to sink into the body? On top of that, are you using the right tools? Is the tool too big? Is it too small? Is it too hard? Is it too soft? Are you giving it enough time? Are you giving it enough pressure? There's so many factors that come into play when it comes to releasing a muscle, specifically the psoas. If someone's trying to tell you that you cannot release the psoas, then I can almost guarantee you they've never had it done to them, or they never practiced it themselves. And if they have, there's also a good chance they never even done it right, or they didn't find someone who can do it right. You can't just go to a basic massage parlor and expect the person in there to know how to release a psoas. I'm sorry to say, but those are not the best massage therapists. They're there to help you rub your back, help you relax, and then enjoy your day. They're not there to help you release specific muscles and help you treat certain conditions. But a sports massage therapist can help you get rid of a lot of that pain. They can help you with recommendations on what you should do. We can't treat people, we can't do that. But that doesn't mean we can't give you recommendations. That doesn't mean we don't know what we're doing when it comes to releasing tight muscles. So with that said, if you want to check out some online programs, go to trainmassage.com, or if you want to learn how to actually release your psoas correctly, and then make sure to check out the video up in the top right corner. With that said, I'll see you in the next one.